Welcome to the Shamblin Showdown. I'm here today with the man himself, Judge Barrett Painter. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Hunter. How are you doing?
Doing good. Before the show started there, we were talking about your old baseball days, and I thought we shouldn't get deep into this. We need to talk about this for the show.
That's right.
So first, you played it. Where you said you signed with Lee?
I graduated from Cleveland High School.
Cleveland High School
in 1978. I don't want to age myself, but I guess I just did. Now, I graduated in 1978 and signed a partial scholarship at Lee University. It was Lee College back then.
Yeah.
We were the Vikings back then.
I remember that.
And played 1 year there. Coach David McLean was our head coach.
Okay.
Still good friends with David. He's a great man. And then I transferred to UT Chattanooga and didn't play the next year, but I walked on at UTC, played as a sophomore and a junior, and earned a partial scholarship there. And in 1982, I'll never forget, it was we had heard rumblings about a men's sport was going to be dropped. Mm-hmm. And we got called in by the athletic director, the team did, in a room, and it's a classroom. And Harold Wilkes was the athletic director back then, and he told us that they were dropping baseball.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Because that was my love.
Oh yeah.
I loved playing.
I feel that.
Wasn't the biggest guy on the team, but I worked hard.
Yeah.
And
were you fast?
I was fast and had a good arm.
See, I was not fast, but I was a catcher, so I could kind of get away with it a little bit. But I had a decent arm myself too, but I wasn't fast by any means.
Yeah. I played in the outfield, and but anyway, I thought about what I wanted to do. My lifelong goal was to make a career out of baseball. Sure. But I realized
me too.
By that time, when you're 5'7",
that's
and
right,
weigh about 130
you're in
pounds,
the same boat I was in.
You're not going to get a lot of looks in the major leagues.
No.
So I realized then that I needed to figure out another path, and that path was to buckle down and go to school. So
there you go.
I didn't. And the great thing about it, I was a junior at the time. So they had to honor my scholarship because we had an option of going somewhere else to play and not having to sit out or staying, and they would honor our scholarship for our senior year. So I chose the staying in school part. and
that's a smart move.
Yeah. So I enjoyed my days playing baseball and still reminisce about those days.
I played at the University of the Cumberlands, in the first probably month, we would have to do our times down to first base, and I would get dogged. And our head coach would yell at me to quit big league, and I guess he thought I was just jogging because we'd hit and then we'd do our time to first. And that was as hard as I could go. That was as fast as and finally, he learned. He was like, all right, I'm going to lay off of it. That's his top speed. But I thought I was going to die. I was booking and booking and booking. Yeah. And I'd ask him, I'd say, did I make my time, coach? And he'd say, the second you make your time, I'll fall over dead, and you'll know that you've made your time. So he gave me a hard time.
But we make up for our deficiencies in other areas.
Yeah, well, he got me one time. He said we were taking a road trip, and we were going on the charter bus, and he had hearing aids. And you couldn't tell, but he had hearing aids, and I had my AirPods or whatever they're called in, and I was talking loud, and he said, they called me Sham. He said, Sham, my one goal this trip was to not have to turn my hearing aids down. And he said, we've not pulled out of the parking lot yet, and you've ruined that for me. So that gave me a hard time. But anyway, well, if you would give us a little background on how long you've been in the legal profession, and then how that led to becoming a judge, and how all of it happened.
Well, I grew up here in Bradley County.
Sure.
Dad, Mom were Harlan and Lynette Painter. Mm-hmm. Dad was a longtime attorney in this town, worked as city attorney for over 40 years. So I had, that kind of piqued my interest. I remember Dad taking me to a Court of Appeals argument. I went up to the Court of Appeals and argued when I was in high school. And I thought that was interesting. Yeah. So that kind of piqued my interest. But I had... at one point I thought about being a coach. Yeah. At one point I thought about going into ministry, and then my degree was in business finance. Yeah. So once I graduated from UTC, I worked local here in the rent-to-own industry. Started with Toad McKenzie's company, and worked there as a store auditor. I would go around to the stores and and audit the cash and the inventory
Sure.
and make sure everything was where it's supposed to be. And then the general manager took a job in Athens, Georgia, and hired me to do store auditing for that company. So I lived there for a couple years in Athens, Georgia. Great town, unless you're not a Bulldogs fan.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Being a Tennessee fan,
They take that serious
they
there
take
too,
it
don't
very
they?
seriously.
That's right.
So what you had to do is, and I got the company I worked for had season tickets to Georgia games, so they'd let me go to Georgia games. But if they weren't playing Tennessee, I'd fake that I was.
Yeah,
a
you
Georgia
have to.
fan.
Yeah, there you go. Now your stepson Biscuit, he's a big Tennessee fan, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because I swear I see him and a lot of times Dustin Fromm. If it's a Tennessee sporting event, I see one of the two of those guys there at
Yep.
those things. So I don't know what it is, but I played a little bit against Biscuit, even though he was a little bit older than me too. But Biscuit is Kent Christian, by the way, if you don't know him by his nickname.
Everybody knows him by Biscuit.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, he was funny. I remember one time somebody got hurt or something, and we were playing, and I was a freshman. Maybe he was a senior, and he it stopped the game for like 30 minutes, and he just had like 5 of us just rolling over there, just talking about. It was a good time, but anyway.
I'm truly blessed. Biscuit and Miles,
Yeah.
Leslie's other son, they're great kids.
Yeah. I don't know Miles, but Biscuit, he's a celebrity around here. That's for sure.
No doubt. Yeah, that's one thing we should all share in common, or being Tennessee fans.
Yeah.
I can remember, I was probably 12 or 13 years old when I first started going to Tennessee games
Yeah.
with my dad. Dad graduated law school at UT.
Okay.
So he had season tickets there for a while, and once I got old enough, I would go up, and we'd always get there early, and because I like to watch them warm up. And then when I was 13, 14 years old, playing, I guess it called Pony League back
Yeah.
then, Steve Benton and Earl Rowan were my coaches. I played for the Hawks, and Steve was one of the managers on the Tennessee football team.
Okay.
So after the game, I usually took a friend with me. So we'd always go down if they won.
Yeah.
Do that if they didn't
Yeah.
win, but we'd go down if they won right outside the locker room. And once the coaches, did what they do after the game, Steve would always come out, and if he saw me, he'd take me into the locker room.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah, it was great. For
Yeah.
a 13, 14-year-old
Oh,
Tennessee
yeah.
fan, and back then it was, I can't remember, maybe Randy Sanders was
Wow.
quarterback. I remember Pat Ryan.
Yeah.
I remember Commerce Holloway.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
So I've been a Tennessee fan for a long, long time.
So now, did you go to UTK Law too?
No, I went to Cumberland School of Law at Samford University in
Okay,
Birmingham.
gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. And so after you got out of the rent-to-own business, where did you go from there?
Well, once in Athens, Georgia, the company I was working for sold, and because I was doing a lot of their accounting stuff, they said, "Why don't you go to University of Georgia and get your accounting degree?" And I thought, "Nah, I think I want to be a lawyer."
Yeah.
So I came back, talked to my dad, and said, "I want to go to law school." And he helped me get into law school, and he said, I said, "If I come back, can I work in your firm?" And he went and talked to the partners, and they said, "Yeah." And so I graduated Cumberland Law School in 2.5 years. I went both summers so I could finish early. And then I've been practicing law since April of 1992. It's going to
Gotcha.
be 30 years.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
That's a long
Older than
time.
you are.
Hey, that's right. That is. Wow, 30 years. So you've been at it for a long time, and then you recently been appointed judge.
That's right. So kind of give you a background. So I worked for my dad for about 9-10 years.
Yeah.
Went to work at Logan Thompson. Worked there for a little while. While I was at Logan Thompson, I was the Bradley County attorney.
That's right. Okay.
So in the early 2000s, I worked as Bradley County attorney. Back then, it was just a part-time position.
Sure.
I'd go over on Mondays and spend a day over there.
And that's
doing
what
their
Crystal
work.
Freiberg
That's what
does
Crystal
now.
does.
Okay.
Crystal's full-time.
Okay, yeah.
And I was Meigs County attorney during that time too. So anyway, then I went to work at Chancey Cannabis and worked there for several years. And then I ran for criminal sessions judge 8 years ago. And about that time, Bill Moss had passed away after the election. And Bill Moss had passed away, who was our former city municipal judge, city court judge. And I applied for that through the city council and got appointed. And so I was a city judge from like 2014 until last year.
Is that full time?
No, that's part time.
Part time too.
It's a
Okay,
part-time
gotcha.
job, yeah, we had court every Thursday afternoon, starting at 2:30, and then the third Thursday of each month we had night court.
Gotcha.
starting at
Okay.
6:30. So yeah, I did that for.
But it felt like a full time job though. A lot of times.
I'm sure, yeah, and I enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
had good clerks, and the city has great people.
Yeah.
And then in March of last year, Judge Swafford called me and said, Barrett, I'm just letting you know that I am retiring early.
Yeah.
And because I had expressed interest with him about running for Sessions Juvenile Judge, because I knew he was going to retire at the end of his term, just didn't know he was going to do it early.
Sure.
And so we went through that process with the county commission, and in June of last year, I was appointed to finish his term out, which ends in December 30th of 2022.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I was thank the county commission
Yeah.
for showing the confidence in me
Sure.
to replace Judge Swafford and finish out his term. So that's how I got to the position of your Sessions Juvenile Judge.
Sure. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. We're back here on the Shamblin Showdown with Judge Barrett Painter, and we did a little bit in the last segment there about kind of where your path has taken you up until this point now. So obviously you announced that you were running again too. Where did you do that at again, and when was it?
The announcement?
Yeah, it was at 5 Points, right?
Yes, the museum.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes, sir. Because I remember that too, because we had the party meeting, and you came over to the party meeting after that too. So,
Yes.
give us a little bit of background on that as well too.
Well, as far as my announcement.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, I had talked to Judge Swafford
Sure.
2 or 3 years ago to find out if he was going to run again.
Sure.
And he said, no, I'm going to retire. So anyway, the opportunity presented itself. And so my plan was I was going to run for his position in May 3rd next year in the Republican primary for that seat anyway. So I thought, if the county commission sees fit to appoint me, that'd be great, because I can get in and start working
Sure.
and doing something that I love to do. And but anyway, so I had it scheduled one Thursday, and unfortunately David Jenkins passed away, and his visitation was the same day.
That's right. I remember that.
Out of respect to the Jenkins family, I rescheduled it for a couple of weeks. It was on a Tuesday instead of a Thursday. But anyway, had a great turnout. Had an awesome turnout.
Oh yeah. Did it at 5 Points, right?
I remember. Museum,
Yeah.
It had a great turnout one evening. It was the night of the Republican.
That's right.
meeting.
Yeah.
And I got everybody through in time so that they could go to the meeting. And but I made that announcement then, and then came here. It's been longer than that, maybe a month ago, and made the announcement on the radio, Mix 104 with Steve.
I don't know how. I guess Steve, since he's the boss around here, he gets all the announcements first, and then it's like, then we'll come on the Shamblin Showdown after that. So I'll try to steal them from him if I can and get them before. But there's always, he's the boss here, so he could say we're going to run that one a little bit later. We're going to run my. I'm just kidding, but anyway, but I give him a hard time. But it's a good.
You got to listen to your boss.
That's right. He's the boss. Hey, Steve Hartline at Mix 104.1's the king around here, so that's for sure. So he's a good one. I give him a hard time.
My wife and her sister were on the radio, I guess Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tuesday morning for the Empty Stocking Fund.
Okay.
Last year, when Steve was sick, Lindsay had approached him about her and Leslie coming on the show to help raise money for the Empty Stocking Fund. And apparently it went great.
Yeah.
And because those two, my wife and,
Yes, sir.
and my
Yeah.
sister-in-law, Lindsay. Yeah. Those two are amazing on the radio.
Sure.
They play off each other. They play off
Sure.
Steve. So they were able to raise a lot of money, and
That's
they
awesome.
did it this year, too.
Yeah,
So,
good for them.
Yeah, that's a great we need to help our children as much as possible.
Oh, exactly. He cracks me up too. We usually record in the studio right here beside, and there's a window in between. I don't know if the cameras show up, but there's a window in between. I had Richard Burnett on 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was pre-recording, and Steve I didn't know this till after, but he said it looks like Hunter Shamblin's being held hostage in the other room by Richard Burnett. So he gives me a hard time, but he's a good one. He's a good one. So now you've announced you're gonna enter back in and run again. How's all that going with the campaign? I know it's really not gotten wild.
It's going really good.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a great team on my campaign committee that's working together. Of course, my wife Leslie, her background's in marketing.
Sure.
And she's probably as good of or better campaigner than I am.
There you go.
Because she knows everybody. She's personal, and she talks to everybody.
Sure.
So, but the campaign's going great.
Good. Yeah. So you've done that. I know and I'm still young, and I'm trying to learn how it all works a lot of times too. So a committee, I've heard of that being done a lot. Is that just like a few trusted friends that help you?
Yes.
Okay.
I have as a judicial candidate, we have certain
You've got
ethics.
a different playing.
That's correct.
Yeah.
We have certain ethics that we have to abide by, judicial campaign ethics. And one of those is we cannot, as a judicial candidate, go out and solicit money.
Sure.
Okay, so you have to have a campaign committee that actually goes out and fundraises.
But you got to go and raise 100,000 plus. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I know.
It's crazy. It's changed so much from 8 years ago.
Yeah.
But I've asked some friends and some acquaintances.
Sure.
And we've got a great team together, and we're really working hard and got our heads down. And
well, it's about to get ramped up. I know. It's especially around here. It's one thing I have picked up on is it all kind of goes quiet around this time of the year. Everything kind of settles down for Christmas, and then after New Year's, it's a sprint, isn't it? It's a sprint.
That's right.
Well, there'll be, you'll have, and people know that too, because what I think is funny is it just so happens that the kids sell their what's the discount cards at schools and sports teams around. If there's an election time, they know where to go to, and everybody's got to buy one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know who figured that out, but it always seems like when there's an election going on, there's somebody selling some little kid discount cards to school or something like that.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so after the holidays, everything ramps up, and when is now? You're a May 1st primary.
May 3rd.
May 3rd. I'm sorry, May 3rd primary, correct?
Yes, the Republican primary.
Okay,
yes.
Gotcha. And so you obviously running as a Republican. Kind of give us a little background on your time here and kind of what you've done and where you would like to see the Republican Party go in the future here too. So that's
I've been a pretty active member of the
Sure.
Republican Party.
We see you at the meetings.
Yeah. Starting in, I guess, 8 years ago. I started going to the meetings and really wish I'd done it beforehand.
Sure.
And but I as a lifelong Republican, my dad was a lifelong Republican. I'm seeing where our country is, and hopefully we can get it turned around.
Sure.
But the local party's doing great.
Sure.
We do great work. Emily does a great job as our chairman.
Nationally too, in today's world, we got to get conservatives, especially in judicial seat, or I guess you'd say judicial seats as well too. But we got to get conservatives elected across the board, and that's the thing. And it's just, if we don't start on our local levels, then that's where you got to build at.
You got to start somewhere.
You got to build. That's exactly right. And people don't realize too that you affect their life a lot more than the Supreme Court does. You know what I mean? They don't understand that. And your county mayor affects your life a lot more than your president does or your commission. But people don't understand it. But that's the thing, and I always try to harp on it. And that's why I think I've developed a real passion for the Republican Party here. You can do good work in your own backyard. You don't have to go be an intern in D.C. or in Nashville. You can do work right here in Bradley County for younger people as well too, and older people. You can do. I've had people come up and say, "We just want to know something that we can do to get involved." Too.
Start coming to the meetings.
Come to the meetings. Say, hey, they give us a hard time in there every now and then, but we can take a little heat.
That's right.
Sometimes it gets entertaining, that's for sure. But anyway, well, it's been great to have you on, Judge, today. Is there anything else you want to wrap up with?
I just want to say this, Hunter. I love this job. I love what I'm doing, and I feel that the good Lord's calling me to this job. Since I took the bench October 1st last year, we've made a lot of good changes to the to Sessions Court and to juvenile court. I've implemented a centralized calendar system for my clerks and my juvenile staff, so they'll know where I am and what court I'm going to be in, because I do downtown courthouse and the juvenile justice center, and they know what court Magistrate Ivy's going to be in. She's either downtown or in the at the juvenile justice center. We have on the civil session side. We've reduced wait times for contested cases from 6 to 8 months to 6 to 8 weeks.
Wow.
So we're getting a lot done.
Yeah.
I've got a great staff of clerics that Gala
Sure.
Miller employs, and we all work well together. We're a great team. They also do my order protection court. Order protection court's grown so much that we do it every other Friday, but we do a morning docket and an afternoon docket.
Sure.
I have mental health court that I take care of, and then environmental court. And the clerks downtown really
Got a lot on your plate.
yes, we do. But they're great. They keep me
So you have to work a little bit with Tim Mason on environmental
That's
stuff.
right.
Okay,
Yeah, I love Tim.
Tim's a good one. He's a good guy.
absolutely.
He's a good guy.
And on the juvenile side, which is really my big passion, we've done a lot of good work there. We have on family court, which is our truancy and unruly cases, non-delinquent cases. We do those on Mondays, and then Thursdays is my juvenile delinquent day. We've re-implemented the chaplain ministries for our kids in detention. I've talked to Lynn Bowles with the Bradley Cleveland Public Education Foundation and hoping to get a meeting with her soon, so that we can get more tutors to our children that come through the juvenile court system to try to help them with their grades.
Well, it's key. Give them the not only the spiritual support they need with the chaplain, but give them a educational basis. It really can turn a child's life around.
And we've had some great success stories. One of the things that I'm really working on right now is my mentorship program. I've met with both Dr. Dyer, I've talked to Dr. Cash, I've met with Derek Kinsey at the Boys and Girls Club, I've talked to Lawrence Armstrong with the 100 Black Men, I've talked to Haley Johnston about being involved in that program, and hopefully at the beginning of the year, I can get a big meeting set up with everybody, school systems and all these community people, to see how this is going to work and see what we can do to get these kids some mentors, because they come to us at their most difficult time. And a lot of them don't have moms or dads that they can look up to, or somebody they can look up to. So hopefully we can get that program started, and that's going to make a big difference. But my juvenile staff, Vicki Towns, my director, and she's
a good one.
Oh man, they're great. They do great work. My youth service officers that are in the school, because of the way I rearranged the schedule, they have more time to spend with our kids in school, and to help out our teachers when they need help. And it's just been it's been in a year we've accomplished a lot. If I can have 8 more years, we're going to accomplish even more. And I can't wait to get that started, get that progress started, get these kids more help that they need. And it's been awesome. I tell people a vote for Barrett Painter will ensure that the children of Bradley County are not just nameless, faceless numbers in the judicial or the juvenile system, but a child who has a chance to succeed in life. And we're really passionate about that, both me and my staff. So I'm asking for the vote in support of Bradley County. I've had almost a year and a half I would be in office come May of next year.
That's crazy. Time flies, doesn't it?
It does. But I'm asking for the vote in support of Bradley County, and so that we can continue the good work we're doing both in juvenile and sessions court, and we can really help the citizens of Bradley County and the children of Bradley County.
Well, there you go. You heard it here on the Shamblin Showdown, even though Steve Hartline stole him to come on his show before he could come on this one, but we'll take it. So anyway.
Next time, just tell me.
That's right. Well, that's right. Well, thank you for coming on, Judge. We really appreciate it. It's been great. Thank you, sir.
Hunter.
There we go. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
It was going to have to go out next week, but I think I'll check with them too. It's going to go out Monday. So
This
this come by Monday,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Unless you want to go out the next Monday, I can do another one in if you.
Well, let's do a week from Monday.
Okay, yeah, we
That'd
can
be
do
great.
that. We can do that. You got it.
That'd be the 13th, right?
I can check.